Once upon a time, nestled at the edge of a grand forest, there was a small village. In this village lived a young girl named Dora, known for her curious eyes and adventurous spirit. Dora loved to explore the nearby farm with her faithful dog, Max. One sunny afternoon, Dora and Max were out in the apple orchard, plucking ripe, juicy apples from the trees. As Dora reached for a particularly high apple, she suddenly heard a deep, rumbling voice echoing through the forest. Her heart skipped a beat. Max's ears perked up, and he let out a low growl. Dora quickly glanced around, her eyes wide with curiosity and a hint of fear. In the distance, she saw something that made her gasp. A giant, towering above the trees, was making its way towards the village, crushing everything in its path. The giant's footsteps shook the ground, and its eyes gleamed with malice. "Max, we have to warn the village," Dora exclaimed, her voice trembling but determined. She grabbed her basket of apples and sprinted towards the village, with Max barking urgently by her side. Panting and out of breath, Dora burst into the village square. Everyone! Everyone! There's a giant coming to destroy the village," she shouted. The villagers looked at her in shock, their faces pale with fear. Without wasting a moment, the village elder, a wise and brave man, took charge. "Gather all the men and weapons. We must defend our home," he commanded. The villagers quickly armed themselves with whatever they could find, pitchforks, axes, and swords. The giant's footsteps grew louder and louder until it finally emerged from the forest, its eyes blazing with anger. The villagers, though frightened, stood their ground, ready to protect their homes and loved ones. Dora, standing beside the elder, watched as the men bravely fought the giant. They worked together, using their knowledge of the land to their advantage. Some distracted the giant, while others aimed for its weak spots. After a fierce battle, the giant let out a mighty roar and fell to the ground with a thunderous crash. The villagers cheered in victory, their spirits lifted by their triumph. Dora hugged Max tightly, relief washing over her. The village elder approached Dora, his eyes filled with gratitude. "You saved us all, Dora. Your bravery and quick thinking brought us together to defeat the giant. We owe you our lives." Dora smiled, her curious eyes shining with pride. "We did it together," she said. "We protected our home." From that day on, Dora was hailed as a hero in the village. Her story was told and retold, inspiring generations to come. And every time she walked through the orchard with Max, she couldn't help but smile, knowing that even the smallest person can make a big difference.